Hello, this is Classical Philippa on Radio Lewis. It's freezing in Lewis today.
It's freezing in the studio today.
So we're literally by a hand warmer. All our toes and hands are freezing. Yes, we are in England, not the ice pole, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We start off today with Michael Haydn, the brother of Joseph Haydn, who I will play later. And you're about to hear the Trumpet Concerto No. 2 in C. And it's the movement is the Allegro molto, and it's Henry playing the trumpet, and it's
Haken Hardenberger.
Thank you. And it's the London Philharmonic Orchestra conducted by Olga Hallath. was lovely. A high C I couldn't even begin to sing. But anyway, that was the music of Michael Haydn, whose brother, Joseph, I will play later. And that was a trumpet concerto number 2 in C. There were only 2 movements in that, and you heard the Allegro molto with...
Haken Hardenberger.
Thank you for playing the trumpet. Ben has this lovely way of pronouncing things when I can't do it. He can speak German, which I can't. And the backup orchestra was the London Philharmonic Orchestra, conducted by Olga Howarth. Moving on, as it seems to be my favourite expression, we come to a contemporary of the Strauss family, and his name is Meyer. I, stupidly enough, didn't look him up, but anyway, it's a how do you say it?
Schnofflertanz.
The Schnofflertanz, which obviously means dance or something like that. And it's the Ensemble Belle Musica Vienne, conducted by Michael Dietrich. Well, I hope all you lazy people who've just got out of bed were moved slowly out
You
of bed.
can't call your listeners lazy.
Well, I have. Those who just have had a hangover after Christmas. And I hope you did a dance round your bedroom or sitting room or whatever. Anyway, that was a Schnaffler Tanz by Meyer, a contemporary of Johann Strauss and one or two other people. Lander is another one. Anyway, the music was played for us by the Ensemble Bell Musica Vienna, conducted by Michael Dictree. My next choice, I've just thrown this piece in, which will get a lot of people in a romantic mood. It's the overture to Norma, and the composer is Bellini, and it's overture and prelude to Norma, Act 1, with a Philharmonic Orchestra by Tullio Serafin. certainly know when an opera comes to the end with all the loud chords at the end. That was the music of Bellini, and it was the overture to Norma, one of many operas of Bellini's, played for us by the Philharmonic Orchestra, conducted by Tullio Serafin. And for those who don't know, that's where the piece Casta Diva comes from, which is absolutely lovely. If you have a chance to listen to Norma's Casta Diva, do so. It'll get you in a lovely mood. My next choice this morning is Johann Neopink Hummel, his piano concerto piano concerto in A minor. It doesn't have a number, sorry. Opus
85.
Opus 85, but it could be number 2. And it's the second movement, played for us by Stephen Howarth on the piano, and it's the English Chamber Orchestra, conducted by Burden Thompson. was lovely. I find Johann Hummel very refreshing. I do adore his piano concertos. And that was a piano concerto in A minor, opus 85. And that was the second movement, played for us by Stephen Howe on the piano with the English Chamber Orchestra. I think my headphones are about to come off. And it was Bryden Thompson conducting. Moving on now, as we always seem to do everywhere we go. This is the Mozart of. This is the. This is
Sorry.
the overture to Così fan tutti by Mozart, with the London Philharmonic Orchestra conducted for us by Bernard Haitink. that was lovely, and that was the music of Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart, and that was the overture to Così van tutti, played for us by the London Philharmonic Orchestra, conducted by Bernard Haitink. Now, breaking the ice slightly, this is not classical music. This is music by a Scottish composer. His name is Hugh Nicholson. I have played him before, but I haven't played him for quite a while. And the title of the CD is called Heartstrings. And the piece I have chosen, I haven't listened to it myself, it's called Richmond Park. Now, the Richmond Park could be up in Yorkshire, because there's a Richmond up in Yorkshire, or it could be near London. Well, I presume it's near London, but anyway, we're about to hear Richmond Park played for us by Hugh Nicholson, who composes and writes music too. And the his contact details are dutsko@aol.co.uk. So if you would like to get in touch with him, do so by all means. So we'll listen to his music now. Well, that was nice and relaxing. That was the music of Hugh Nicholson, and the CD is called Heartstrings, and it was called Richmond Park, and it was composed and written by Hugh Nicholson. My next choice is Giovanni Donizetti, and you're about here, I can't. Could you just play?
Okay, this is Celio Mini. Yeah.
Christina Wittenberger singing a track from Anna Bolena, which is the composer is Donizetti, and you heard her singing Ciel a Miel with the Polish Radio Symphony Orchestra conducted by Richard Bonning, who is the husband to the late Joan Sutherland. My next choice this morning, frosty morning, is Karl Stamitz. One of his, I'm going to play you one of his concertos. This is concerto for clarinet and bassoon, and it's played for us by two people, Toko Tasama and...
Shall I try this?
Yes.
Tomoko Takashima and Kalman Burks on clarinet.
Thank you very much. And it's the background music is the Nicholas Estasi Symphonia. just heard the music of Karl Stamitz, who is Czech, and that was clarinet and bassoon concerto in C, and the backup was the Nicholas Estasi Symphonia. My last choice this week is... It sounds sad this week because it's the last one of this year, and the next one is next year, 2015 or 2015, as you like, however you like to call it. Anyway, my next choice, my final choice, is Joseph Haydn. As I said, I promised you I would play him, and it's the Horn Concerto. And it's the first movement, the Allegro Molto, played for us by Barry Tuckwell on the horn, with Sir Martin in the Field, conducted by Sir Neville Mariner. Until next time, I wish you a very, very happy New Year, and I hope you get what you deserve and what you like and what you want. And I wish you well, and once again, Happy New Year, and may it be a good one. It's very still. I'll to put into the laptop, and it's just so fiddly.
Well, they nearly always go in.
Pull it out. So they there's another one.
I'd have to look at it.
Do you want to come along?
Oh, I can do that if you like. Oh, hang on, we've got to close this show.